crisis is expressed by the ideogram of danger and the ideogram of possibilities, opportunities.
This is Unplugged, a series of conversations with creative minds from the design industry and beyond, hosted by H&H.
Buongiorno and welcome to a new episode of H&H Unplugged. We are here today with Massimo Brigandi, our good friend and general manager of Contardi. We invited Massimo to speak about the present and the future. Massimo, thank you for being here. Sorry to disturb you on a Sunday. How are you living these strange days?
Thank you, Matteo, for inviting us, inviting Contardi, inviting me. You said it's Sunday. I have to say in this strange time, everything is a bit alienating because every day is the same. So there is no longer a difference between a weekend and daily working week. So I'm happy to be here. You said right, it's a very strange time. We are living what everybody is calling emergency. We are in a crisis. And it's funny that a couple of days ago, I was reading on a newspaper how the Chinese express through the ideograms the word crisis. Now, crisis is expressed by the ideogram of danger and the ideogram of possibilities, opportunities. So that was very interesting, very, very interesting, because at one point we live in a crisis. On the other side, we are facing opportunities, or anyway, the need of change and change. That is what Contardi is trying to do. We are not staying still, waiting things change. Contardi, as you know, is a family company, has a long history of over 40 years as a manufacturer of lighting. So the past 10 years have been for Contardi a constant change, where the key word was flexibility. So Contardi is a company that has been transforming so much under what we call normal times that now somehow feels uncomfortable as everybody, of course, but a bit less uncomfortable, if I can say so, in having to face this crisis, this emergency. Because it is in our DNA, the idea and the approach of changing, of reacting, of moving ahead. So that is what we are doing in these days. Thinking, strategizing, trying to be creative, which is the real slogan. Things are evolving. My first consideration of a time like this is that we were living in what we call the globalization. You know, the globalization, what word I can use, or adjective or adverb I can use for globalization. Globalization means more of everything. Now we are facing instead a time where less is the word. Less interaction, personal interaction. I'm talking to you. You're in Dubai, I am in near Milano, and you remember that a week ago I should have been in Dubai. So it was planned the business, we had a nice, good schedule. We had also our time as friends. In the evening, the restaurant we like, the bar we like. So less interaction, less traveling, less public space. So it's now less. How can we turn this less into more again? So this is the big question mark. And this is what, we need to think of.
Max, you're talking about changings, things that are changing or that have changed because of the current situation. Do you think that these changes will affect our future? I mean, whatever has changed and is changing now will remain changed even after the recovery time, let's say, or we will go back to our old life, normal life in a year time, 6 months, and everything will be forgotten?
No, I don't think it will be forgotten. I think, well, I hope we will return to what we call normal. I do hope so. Nevertheless, what is happening now is definitely affecting our values. If it won't stay, nothing remains, it will be an opportunity that the whole world will lose. Because how do I see things happen now? The approach is changing, the mental approach, where probably real values, the old-fashioned values, let's call them that way, will remain. I was thinking of, what is the added value that now can count? Probably is where we go back to long-lasting relationship, where the relationship, business and personal, is again in the first row, where quality and service is again in the first row versus price. I'm not only thinking of selling a light or winning a contract. On everyday's life, I'm thinking of the approach to buy something in a world full of globalization. I think, either prefer the quantity to the quality. I buy it today, but I can buy also tomorrow. Then I can buy the day after. I can buy something and then return it. I think this will change. It will. I hope actually it will change. I hope it won't happen anymore. We don't have time for a chat. We spend so much time on WhatsApp instead of giving somebody a call for exactly the same time. Definitely things will change.
Also, your, let's say, benchmark customer will therefore change, and the consumption patterns will change, because every company has typically a benchmark customer.
It will change. It will change its approach. I don't think, Contardi is playing at the same time on three different games. We are now playing with the hospitality players. We are playing with the distribution network residential players. We are working and playing the game as a producer for other players. So now we're playing on three different fields at the same time. So I have to think of the approach, three different customers. Of course, some will change more, some will change less. So I don't expect that nothing will change. There will be big changes. My hope is that they will change, as I said before, in focusing more on values instead of speed, as it was. Today is you, tomorrow is another one, the other day will be another one, and then it will be you again. So we will probably have a little more time, us and the player and the consumer. So that's how I think things will change between us and the players. I don't think we will change the consumer.
We're seeing on the market a kind of new trend in the last maybe 5-6 years of brands, let's say manufacturers, trying to expose themselves more directly to their consumers, like cutting the distribution and reducing at least the distance between the end users and themselves. Do you think that this situation maybe will create a different bond between the manufacturer and the consumer, or the pattern basically will remain the same?
No, this is the big change that we have seen in the past 5 years. Unfortunately, for some players, is not changeable. So we will definitely continue that way. there will be even a further selection, in my opinion, natural selection. No, we don't have to go back to history, to Darwin, to understand that when things evolve, there is a natural selection. You said right, the relationship between the producer and the consumer, the direct consumer, has reduced significantly and will probably even cut the distance more. There is a need of getting closer. What stays in between will change, will evolve. If it evolves, it will remain, providing what they are required to provide. I'm not saying that there is no need of something in between. There is a big need. Otherwise, companies wouldn't be able to face the relationship with all the customers all around the world. But what is in between has to change, because if it doesn't change, if they remain stick to the old model, there is no need such service that once was a must because of the lack of possibilities. In the past was less traveling, was less communication. Again, now we are talking, I see you are in Dubai, I'm in Milano. In the past, there was nothing like that. Now you send a question and I know I can give you an answer in 5 minutes. In the past, that was not possible. So I think it's a natural selection. It will go ahead.
How do you think that the technologies might help the company to overcome this difficult time, if they might help? And I'm thinking about Zoom that we are using for this conversation, a new technology. I'm thinking about the e-commerce channels, so internet. I'm thinking about virtual reality. I'm thinking about augmented reality, all those new technologies that they might help to experience the products in a different way.
We will cope with more technology. The present technology and the newest technology will be the tools that will make happen what I was telling you before. So to turn the less into more. Now there is less. We need to turn this less into more. This will happen through technologies. Consider that in different markets, because we work globally, and though there is a red dot that I see, touching every market, then there are also the big differences between one market and another market. For instance, you mentioned e-commerce. E-commerce in some markets, like in the US, is something that has developed very much and is now representing big percentage of the business of every company, including in our industry. Other technologies, not only of interaction, but as you said, augmented reality, will shorten the gap. Sooner or later, the emergency will end. We live in the world of science, and science will help us. We'll find a solution. We will keep probably, very likely, the values of what is happening now. Nevertheless, we will have mastered by then the new technologies, and we will probably change our attitude. Contardi is capable to make lights. That's what we are good at. So I don't think somebody already asked me, do you want to convert production? Do you think to convert in production? No, we don't think about that. We are thinking, on the other hand, how to improve what we are not been able to do so far. And we are thinking of how to make something that may have more value. That's what we are thinking, of doing. I always believe that the main thing is to look at the objective. So the objective is the most important part always. Somebody is a bit confused or makes a big confusion between objective and strategy. So we need to work a lot and think a lot on the objective, to define the right objective that will definitely change due to this time. Then we will think about strategies. But as you know, if we have to go to a place and we decide to take the highway, and there is an accident on the highway, it's not that we don't go anymore, we're going. We go back and we change route. So that's what we have to do, in my opinion. So that's how we are living these hard times, but coping with technologies, using our flexibility, because now the slogan or the keywords are flexibility and creativity. I don't want to be stubborn, but we have grown in these years to flexibility a lot, as you know, how much flexible we have been and we had to be, and on creativity. So we are now working hard and trying to find a way if we are able to put creativity and flexibility at the same level, which has to be a high level.
That's good. That's great. Thank you very much, Max, for the conversation, your point of view. And I'm glad to see that you have a clear strategy in mind. Your objectives are clear and your strategy is pretty clear as well. So good luck with it. And I really hope to see you soon in Dubai for a nice dinner.
I look forward. I do look forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
See you soon. Ciao.
Ciao.